Good morning. It is now 11 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We are not large in numbers today, but hopefully others will join. So we're going to go ahead and get started because your time is valuable and I don't want you to waste your time. So if you don't mind, I am going to share my screen with you so that you would be able to see what I am saying, okay? Welcome to time management. That is what we're going to be talking about today, is time management. And as I said, your time is special. So therefore, we're going to go ahead and get started so I don't waste your time, okay? If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box and I will answer them at the end. Here we're going to talk about the importance of time management. Why is it important? It's important because when we plan, we have a tendency to handle first things first. The important things we handle first. In addition, time management helps us to reduce stress. When we wait to the last minute to do something, we end up being very, very stressed, and we shouldn't have to do that. It makes us more productive, and it's a good habit to have. It's really just a good habit to have, where you do your important things first, your priorities are first. And once you do that, you find that success leads to more success. And we find that we are more and more successful. We have a tendency to want to do it even more. So handle important things first. It helps us to be more productive. It helps reduce our stress level, and success leads to more success. We have common misuses of time. We have a tendency to be a perfectionist, or we try to be a perfectionist. And being a perfectionist, it wastes a lot of time because we want everything perfect. Now, doing things in excellence is very different than being a perfectionist. We want to do things and we want to make sure that it's right, but we don't want to waste time making sure that it's perfect. Because when we waste so much time being a perfectionist, we could have probably had it completed like 10 times over. The other thing is when we don't have precise priorities, when we don't know exactly what we want to do, we have a tendency to waste time. And something that's very, very important, please don't say yes to everything. You're only one person and you can only do so much. When people ask you things and you really don't have the time to do it, you should tell them, no, I don't have the time to do it. Because when you say yes to things that you don't have time to do, what's going to happen is you're putting something that's your priority on the back burner to do something to please somebody else. So don't say yes to everything. Pick your priorities very carefully. Don't be lazy, because lazy just makes us what? More lazy. And it causes us to misuse our time. The other thing about time management, as I said before, imprecise priorities is the same thing as imprecise goals. We want to be specific with our goals. We want to be specific with our priorities. And don't procrastinate. As students, we have a tendency sometimes to procrastinate. We wait to the last minute to do our assignments, and we shouldn't do that because we don't do our best work when we wait to the last minutes to do our assignment. Don't procrastinate. When you get an assignment, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and get it out the way. You may not do it the same day that you get your assignment, but if you do piece by piece by piece, you can get it done without having to rush to get it done. The other thing that's important that I want to say to you as students, we are addicted, including myself, to electronic devices. We are addicted to electronic devices. We are addicted to the cell phones. We are addicted to the television. We are addicted to the internet. And we really just need to turn those things off. When it's time for us to do our homework, we need to turn our electronic devices off so that we can concentrate on what we're doing. I know it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. It's hard for me to do. My husband gets on me all the time about being on Facebook, but I don't have family here. So for me, Facebook is kind of a good way to keep in touch with my family. But on the weekends, if I'm not careful, I can find myself on Facebook all weekend long, looking at what my crazy family is doing. So I just have to turn it off so that we can have quality family time, and I can do some other things that I need to get done. So your electronic devices, they're fun, but they cause us to waste a lot of time. So turn them off. Toxic relationship and surroundings, that's another thing that causes us to waste time. Sometimes we have friends that we probably shouldn't have as friends. And these relationships have a tendency to make us waste a lot of time. So I say to you, pick your relationships carefully. When you are working on picking relationships, pick someone that has the same interests as you do. Pick someone who wants to move forward as you do, not someone who wants to go backwards or someone who doesn't take school seriously. So pick your relationships carefully. Your priorities, again, I've already said, as rule number one, is set your priorities and tackle important and critical things first. Once you feel proud and you make one achievement, you have a tendency to make another achievement. The more you achieve, the more you want to achieve, okay? The other thing that's very important is know your strengths. Know who you are as a person. What I mean by that is, if you are an afternoon person, as a student, if you know that you're productive or more productive in the afternoon, I would take afternoon classes. If you know that you are more attentive in the afternoon, I would take afternoon classes. If you know that you are more attentive in the morning, I would take morning classes. The other thing is I would do important things in the morning if I was a morning person. I would do important things in the afternoon if I was an afternoon person. For me, I'm a morning person. I can get more done in the morning than half of people get done during the day. That's because I'm more attentive. I'm full of energy. Morning is just good for me. In the afternoons or in the evenings when I come home, most of the time when I sit down, I'm asleep. The second I sit down, I'm asleep because I'm just so tired from all that has happened during the day. So if you're a morning person, do important things in the morning. If you're an afternoon person, do important things in the afternoon. If you're a night person, do important things in the night. Know your strength, know your weaknesses. Rule number 2 is create a system. In order to keep up with yourself, there are a lot of electronic devices you can use. You can use a calendar. Many of us use our phones for organization because we have calendars on our phones. Some of you just do notes. The main thing is it doesn't matter what you do or what you use to keep up with yourself. The main thing is keeping up with yourself. So create a system that works for you. Use a system that works for you. Prepare. Organization comes through preparation. So I would say do what works for you. Create a system for you, not for anybody else, but for you. There are a number of apps out there on the internet that can help you get organized. This is just a few here. The homework one I kind of like. It helps you organize your homework as well as kind of tracking what you're doing. And the timetable I kind of like. The Ideal CEO, I didn't like that one as well, but take a look at them and see. You may like them. Again, do a system that works for you. This chart here is a little busy, so I'm going to share the other one with you. I think this is a little bit more simplified. The top blocks, as you can see, are for your important things. The bottom blocks, as you can see, are not so important things. The bottom box is they're your distraction and the things that kind of waste your time. We know that gossip, television, phones, and the internet, even though if we don't want to admit it, we know that they're wasters of time. We know that. Distractions, interruptions. One of the things I would say to you in regards to distractions, if you're at work or if you're a student, you should probably take certain times of the day to take care of your emails, your phones, and your texts. When you try to take care of all of this stuff, and this is what I try to do, and I'm going to tell you, it is not a good habit. When you try to take care of everything as soon as it comes in, you end up wasting a lot of time, because it can be very time consuming. If you interrupt or stop yourself every time an email comes in or phone call comes in or a text comes in, you find yourself doing that all day long, and it's very time consuming. Your important blocks are on the top. These are your necessary blocks, but the block that you want to be in is the block that you see that's not urgent. You do not want to be in a crisis all of the time, emergencies all of the time, pressing problems all of the times, and unforeseen deadlines all of the time. Now, sometimes the unforeseen deadlines you have no control over, because you may get a message saying that you may need to be at a meeting in 5 or 10 minutes that you didn't know about. So unforeseen deadlines sometimes is something that we can't control. But you do not want to be in a situation where everything is urgent. That's not the kind of situation you want to be in, because it can be very, very stressful. Where you want to be is the important but not urgent category. That is the effective category. That is the category that is being proactive. You set goals, you plan, you problem solve, and you think critically. This is effective and is not urgent. This is the category that you want to be in. You want to set your goals, you want to plan, you want to do your problem solving, you want to do your critical thinking, and you want to be proactive. You want to be effective, but you don't want everything to be urgent. Rule number 4 is just get started. Starting early allows you time for modification before the due date. If you don't start early, many times you cannot have modifications. You don't have time to make corrections. So I would like to say to you, just start. When you get an assignment, just start. Do not procrastinate. Do not wait to the last minute. Just start. Number 5 rule is to be proactive. And that means just plan ahead. Organize your time, organize your work. As a student, you should have a place to study. Different places for different people. Some people need quiet noise, some people need quiet music. Some people just sometimes like a background noise to be effective. Whatever works for you that makes you be proactive and to do what you need to do, do it. The other thing I would say to you is create a to-do list every day. Some people do that, some people don't. A to-do list or a task list sometimes can keep you on target. For me, for the last couple of days, I have been really, really off target. I must say the folks that work with me, they keep me on target better than I keep myself on target sometimes. So take charge of your time. Keep a to-do list. Don't rely on other folks to get you where you need to be. Unfortunately, sometimes I do. Bad habit. Take charge of your time. Don't allow other people to control your time, or don't expect other people to control your time. That's something you need to do for yourself. I admit it's a bad habit. Rule number 6, do not forget why you are at Talladega College. You need to focus and you need to stay focused on why you're here. Do not forget why you're at Talladega College. You're here to study, you're here to get a degree, you're not here to party. You're not here for your friends, you're not here for peer pressure, you're here to get a degree. And saying that, I said you're not here to party and all of that for your friends, but do know that it's okay to take time off. Sometimes you are tired, sometimes you're busy, and sometimes you just need to take a day off. So do that. Be careful not to take too many off, because some people have a tendency to take a day off, and next thing you know, they take 2 days off. Next thing you know, they take 3 days off. Next thing you know, they take a month off and then a year off. And then they don't finish at all. So taking a break from school sometimes, it's okay, but just make sure you don't take an extended break. Rule number 7 is don't waste your time, because time is valuable. You need to plan. You need to set achievable goals. Some people set goals and they know they're not going to reach them. And what happens when you set goals that are not achievable, you get very frustrated. So make sure you do piece by piece, set achievable goals. You need to plan, and in setting those achievable goals, you need to be consistent. And when possible, do it in advance. Time management doesn't always mean doing everything in advance. Time management means planning and not procrastinating, and setting goals and being consistent. That's what it's all about. It's about not wasting your time. So plan, set achievable goals, be consistent, and when you have time to do your work in advance, do it. But if you don't have time to do it in advance, take small blocks of time, increment of time to do what you need to do, okay? If we take a minute to look at stats, according to Tutor.com, 80 to 95% of college students are procrastinators. 75% of them identify themselves as procrastinators, and that's not a good place to be. I wouldn't want to identify myself as a procrastinator. And 50% say that they're consistently procrastinators, which means they do it all the time. Now, sometimes you hear people say, well, I work better under stress. Some people do, but stress can be damaging to your health. If you're constantly under stress all the time, that's not good for your health. And stress can sometimes, bad health can sometimes lead to your not being able to do the very best that you can do. As a student, again, last minute work tends to not be our best work. As I just said, stress can impact your health. And the other thing that wasting time can do, it can lead to academic suspension and academic probation, because you don't do your work. And when you don't do your work and you end up with less than a 2.0, that's what happens. You get behind, academic suspension, academic probation, which is not good. And it can cost you your college career. For example, if you're a student and you're on financial aid, if you don't keep that 2.0, and if you're not progressing at 67%, you could lose your financial aid. If you are a student and you have a scholarship and you do not keep your grade point average as to where that scholarship say you should keep it, then you can lose your scholarship. And if you can't afford to pay for college, you can lose your whole college career if you lose your scholarship or your financial aid. So make sure you're careful with that. Pay attention to what you're doing. Now, again, rule number 8, we've already talked about it a little bit. We're going to mention it again before we get to rule number 9 and 10, but we talked about it. We said turn it off. Your electronic devices, turn them off. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, don't stay on it all day. Your tablet, your TV, all of this stuff, when you need to study, turn it off. Don't answer it. When your friends and family call you and you're on your study time, don't answer it. Prevent interruptions as much as you can. And rule number 9, we've already talked about too. Again, set your goals. And these things I keep saying over and over because that's how important they are. Okay? Again, say no. You need to set your limitations. You need to tell your family, your friends, and your colleagues when you are studying, don't bother me. I'll call you back. Or such and such time, I'm not available. Please do not contact me during this time because I'm going to be busy studying. You should set yourself up a study schedule and stick to it. Set yourself a study schedule and stick to it. If you plan to go out with your friends, plan it and stick to it. If you need to get help, you plan to go to tutoring, plan it and stick to it. If you have a daily schedule or a task list, follow it and stick to it. Because when you set goals and you don't stick to your goals, it's such a waste of time. And you need to learn how to do this on a regular in order to be successful. You need to learn how to plan. You need to set your limitations regularly, not just every now and then. I'm talking about every day. And rule number 10, it's nothing but work-life balance. You need to keep yourself spiritually, you need to keep yourself work-wise, and you need to keep yourself health-wise. So therefore, it's nothing but, as you've heard them say, work-life balance. You need to balance it. You don't want to be focused on work until you don't enjoy your family. You don't want to just enjoy your family so much until you're not effective at work. You want to be able to enjoy your family and friends. You want to be able to reach your goals, and you want to be able to have fun and enjoy yourself. If we don't plan, sometimes we can't always do that. We may end up one extreme to the other. So make sure you juggle your time wisely. Work-life balance. Take time to have fun. Take time to enjoy your family. Take time to do something that you really, really want to do. Take time to do your homework as you should. And I want to say to you, when you achieve a goal, reward yourself. One of the things I do when I achieve a goal, you probably can look at me and tell I love to eat, but I love to go to a nice restaurant with a nice atmosphere and have a good meal. Well, because of COVID right now, I don't do that. But normally, that's what I used to do when I achieved something. Now I may go home and have a nice hot bath with a nice glass of wine. But do something, and when I say wine, I don't mean go get drunk. That's not what I'm saying. But do something that you like doing when you reach a goal to reward yourself. It's okay to reward yourself. 10 rules, again, prioritize, create a system that works for you. Set your goals, do things that are important first. First things first. Just do it. Just do it. Just start from somewhere. Be proactive, stay focused, recognize that your time is valuable and you don't want to waste it. Set your limitation. It's okay to say no. You do not have to say yes to everything. Set your goals and work to achieve your set goals. And don't forget work-life balance. And don't forget to reward yourself. It's okay to reward yourself. And so now I wanted to stay within a half an hour, and we are pretty much right there at a half an hour. I have 11:26. So I'm going to look to see if there's any messages in chat, and we'll go from there. Okay, it looks like there are not any messages in chat. So that will probably be the end of our presentation. But if you have any questions, again, I'll give you a minute or two to put them in chat. So if there are not any questions or comments, thank you so much for attending. I appreciate your time and your attention, and have an awesome day.